Hi, Jamie. How you doing? Let me open up your work right here. And yes, that is you. Assignment 2, final project, creative comprehensives. Okay, so I want to go to the next page. And I want to see, okay, so in your presentation, you've given this presentation opening page, but you've jumped right into the presentation, just assuming that your viewer knows what you're looking at. In design, any kind of design, always assume in a presentation, I'm sorry, always assume that the viewer has no clue what you're talking about. So you really need to describe things both verbally and visually. So instead of jumping right in here saying 3D giveaway project, stop human trafficking, I would have gone up here and said, or I suggest going up here and saying, this is my project. My project is about human trafficking. I have designed a 3D giveaway piece, a booth, blah, blah, blah. My concept is this. Then go in and start showing your pieces instead of just jumping in and saying, hey, look what I did, without giving the backstory, so to speak. Okay? Your 3D product, don't forget, you have to mock this up. Actually, build it with your hands. Find stuff and build it, put it together with your hands so that we can see it and you can hold it. And that's what a mock-up is. And we always do that in design in order to just really get a good, tangible feel of what your design is going to be like. So you need to mock that up and take pictures of it. Trade show booth, stop human trafficking, okay, table, and then a wall, and then the floor, okay? And then you have your materials, okay? And you jump right into your materials without even ever describing to the viewer that this is a sustainable project, okay? So that's really important that you draw that connection between your materials and the actual trade show and the actual pieces of the project, okay? Regarding your materials, you say this, okay? Now, keep in mind, you haven't mentioned sustainability yet in your presentation, so your audience doesn't know yet. So we get to the materials list, and we go like this. We go, okay, plywood, bamboo, 2 DVD plate. Okay, the flooring is made of bamboo. All right, so I'm getting all the way here, all the way through that, then collateral materials, paper, recycle. Okay, I get almost through the second part of the presentation before the word recycled or sustainable even brought up. Okay, so that's a problem because half of this project is equally as important design and sustainability, and that's how it will be graded when it's held up against and compared to the grading rubric, which you can look at prior to turning this in, just to ensure that you cover all of your bases. You have this, you're saying that this is recycled, okay? You're saying this. You're saying eco-friendly paint, but no, this has to be researched. You have to say, instead of saying, okay, this is my project, this is a sustainable project for a trade show booth, and pretend you're approaching somebody to get backing for this, okay? And your finance guy is gonna look at you and say, okay, so show me why this is sustainable. And you're going to say, okay, so I'm using eco-friendly paints. And that's not telling us anything. I want to know what kind of paint you're using. I want to know where you got it. I want to know how it's eco-friendly. I want to know how it's sustainable. Describe that, do some research, give your citations, and don't just assume that it's eco-friendly. Do you see what I'm saying? I hope that makes sense. Also, you have plywood. Plywood is typically cemented together, so you have cement involved, which is typically, yes, you guessed it, toxic. You have DVD players, you have lights and televisions. So you've got an awful lot of electricity being used for something that is supposed to be considered a sustainable booth. Is that making sense? Printing ink, what kind of ink and why is it sustainable? Okay, and then so the lights are fluorescent. We certainly know that fluorescent lights are not the most sustainable way to go. Plywood, again, glue. So really let's get in here, man. Let's get in here and get some research done and get some, really explain to me and sell this thing to us as to why you're making good, sustainable decisions. Show me some research. Front collateral piece, this is basically a flyer. Typographically, you've got no breaks in your type whatsoever. So nobody, it's just going to be too difficult to read. It's one long paragraph. And we know that that's not how people talk, and we definitely know that's not how people write. So we definitely need to reconsider your typographic presentation here. What's it made of? The paper, finally, I've said this a lot in so many different videos. Now I'm just going to say it straight up. This will not grade well. Look at the final project grading rubric, and you can see that number one, this is not a sustainable piece. You've not given us any materials list, okay? Then you're saying, please recycle, but that, you know, that doesn't, what is that going to do? That doesn't give anybody any reason not to throw this right on the floor when they're done looking at it at your trade show. Believe me, I've designed trade shows for 25 years. I know what happens. I don't do it anymore. I won't, because I don't think my work looks good on a floor. And that's what it's come to. So really, really take this, what I'm saying, seriously. This is not a sustainable piece. Okay, I need to see your research citations too. Okay, so that's where I'm at. So I just laid it down right down on the table for you. So that's where you need to be for a final presentation. If you have any questions or anything I'm saying doesn't make sense, please get with me and I can make it make sense to make your project improve. Okay, thanks very much.